All right, everybody. It is Monday morning, the day after the big race. I thought I'd give everybody an update on how it went, for those who don't already know. So, first things, Joel Gandera did awesome. I think he completed 26 laps, which is over like 32 miles in the 6 hours. So that was super cool to watch that happen. I did not finish around lap, what would that have been? 9, so about 11 miles or so, 11 or 12 miles. My right knee started to act up, and I'm not the type of person that enjoys reporting some sort of mechanical issue as an excuse, because if it's just like fitness or something, then I can just push through, but mechanical stuff I don't want to push through, obviously, because you don't want to get hurt worse if you're already hurt. So it was kind of weird. I hadn't really, in my training, I noticed some kind of tenderness in that right knee, but I didn't think too much of it. I was aware of it, though. And then I started thinking about it yesterday while I was kind of trying to push through it, because I did get from 12 miles to 17. I finished at like 17 and a half or something like that, whatever it came out to. And I started remembering, I'm like, well, why was this knee bothering me? And the other thing that was interesting about it was there were hills, and none of my training contained any hills. And the thing that was weird about it is when the knee started to hurt, the hills actually were easier for me. The up part where everyone else was complaining, oh, it's tiring, whatever, I felt good on the hills, because although it was more difficult from like a cardio and respiratory perspective because it's a hill, the knee didn't hurt at all in that angle of attack. But then when I went down the hill on the other side, the running, that's what I feel like actually is what agitated it. So if I was more aware of that earlier on as a possibility, I could have not run down the hill, but even walking down the hill was a problem too later on. It must just have to be the way that downward, pressure comes up to the knee. So anyway, I started thinking about that. I was like, you know what? I remember, or I was reminded, not remember, because I was reminded of a story that I often forget. But I used to ride my skateboard every day to work when I worked. My only time I had a almost regular job, I worked at a sausage factory in Chicago when I was 20 years ago for like 9 months. And I would go there from 7 a.m. to noon, and I did like accounting stuff and computer stuff or whatever. But it was a really cool place to work, really nice guys and everything like that. But I was close enough that I would ride my skateboard, and I did that for 9 months. So I rode my skateboard every single day back and forth, which was just a couple blocks, but I did it consistently. And I remember stopping riding my skateboard, and that would be the right knee, the one that's the issue, because it was getting like, I could tell that it was kind of getting a little funny, kind of crunchy, and kind of like in this lower spot where I'm feeling the pain now. And so I stopped, and because I could tell that I was doing like actual damage. It wasn't just like, oh, sore muscles or whatever. And then I really haven't had any trouble with it since then, other than occasionally if I did ride my skateboard, I would feel it again in that same spot. So I'm wondering if when I'm running on flat surface or up, my the position is fine, but when I go into that downward running position, the way that the weight hits it must be very similar motion to what happens on the skateboard. And that just kind of flared it up, and then that was the end of it. So that kind of sucks that I didn't think about that ahead of time, because I probably could have like walked backwards down the hill or something like that, and I probably would have been fine. Because the thing I was worried about when I started the races is I thought I was going to be too slow on a like minutes per mile perspective, but I was totally dialed in. I wanted to stay right at that like 10 and a half minute per mile mark, and I was right there. I was able to set my tracker thing to report to me every 2 minutes, and I was like right there within seconds of that, plus or minus, the entire time until I started to really slow down because of the knee. So I was on track. I was definitely there. So anyway, we're gonna let the knee heal up a little bit. Maybe I'll go talk to the chiropractor, the acupuncturist. I've got a massage scheduled for today, and we'll see if we can get everything back in shape. and then we'll do some other stuff, and then we'll hit it again next year for that particular race. But there'll be some more races coming up. Joel and I already talked about how we're going to look at some other ones over the next couple months as well. So that'll be fun. All right, that's it.